blackstoneexperts.com DVD on how to do your own brick mailbox. I'm here with my father, Hans Clausen. Dad, you've been laying brick and doing masonry since the early 1950s, is that correct?
That's right. I started as an apprentice, had a 4-year apprenticeship in Fargo, North Dakota. Then been doing brickworks ever since, from glaze tile to glass blocks to you name the material, and I have done most of it.
We have this job here we're doing for a client, an old friend of ours for many, many years. He wants to replace this mailbox that you see right back here, and which we'll show you how we'll be doing here in a little bit. So should we get right to it?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, Dad, here we got the tools and supplies chapter, and we're gonna go through, I'll just pan through so they get an idea of all the tools, which isn't really that much to do a mailbox, but we wanna make sure that they know exactly what to get for the job. I'm gonna focus down here. You have 2 levels here. What's the long level for?
We have the 4-foot level. Once you get up a ways on the mailbox itself, the brickwork, then the long level comes in handy. However, the shorter one that you see here, you can begin with. You can also finish with this type level. Is ideal for going the whole length if you need to. Next we have the trowel, obviously you need for your for laying the bricks. Mm-hmm. Then we have the S-jointer. If you want to finish the joint smoothly and not raking back, this S-jointer is what you want to finish the joints. This next, you have a raker. If you want to recess the joints,
that gives it a little more rougher look, right?
Also, well, after you rake it, you take the wisp broom that you see on my left here, and you brush the joints with it so they come out fairly smooth. You also have a choice to set the depth. Generally, you're talking about 3/8 of an inch in depth.
Okay.
As you can see, there is a nail here. This screw, you loosen it, and you can adjust this nail for the depth of your joints. Then you retighten this, and then go back and forth to rake out your joints.
And on this particular mailbox, we're going to be raking it, so they'll see that later on. But if they have smoother joints on the house, and generally you'll do the S-jointer. Yes. Now over here, the rule is
gives you your height factor, your square, and all. You do your measuring with that.
Okay. Next
is a brick hammer. In most cases, when you lay out your mailbox, you want to lay it out in 20, 24, 16-inch, something that works out with your bricks that saves you a lot of cutting.
So they don't have to rent a saw. They can do all the cutting with a brick hammer, which we'll show them how to do.
Yes.
But they just got to keep in 4s, like you said, either 16 inches, 20 inches, 24 inches. That means going around.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the brush here, obviously you use with the rake. If you have to polish and rake out your joint, you use that brush to smoothen out your joints with that.
Okay, let's go over here to the shovel. We did put the hoe there. That's optional. They really don't have to, since they're only going to be mixing a couple batches in a wheelbarrow. They could probably just do it with a shovel. Is that right?
That is it. Then they can save themselves the cost of a hoe if they don't have it. You can do all that with just the shovel.
Okay, now in terms of the supplies, here we have masonry cement. Do you have a particular brand, or most brands work pretty well?
I think most will do. Just make sure it's a quality cement. In this case, I have Ideal Masonry. I like that. It's like everything else. You get used to a certain brand. It has served me well over the years.
Okay, then we have some blocks here. The blocks are for backing, is that right?
Blocks are for the inner part of the box. You have to have, number one, strength, and then you use these blocks to support your mailbox which comes in at about 2 foot or whatever height you prefer the box to be. You need to fill the inner part of your mailbox with any material. You can use either bricks or blocks.
And we figured on this job, how many blocks did we? We're doing 24 by 24. Is that right?
Yes, that's what we have here, and we need roughly 12 blocks. So you don't need a lot of blocks. It is just so you get the cavity filled.
Okay. And in terms of the cement, about 2 bags should probably be enough. They don't have to get.
Generally, what you can figure about 125 to 150 bricks can be laid with 1 sack of masonry. If we're talking a mailbox of 200 to 300 bricks, 2 bags of masonry should do nicely.
Okay. Now bricks, of course, that's their individual taste. They can figure anywhere from 200 to 300 bricks, depending on how wide they go. Is that correct?
Yes, and like I said, sometimes you want to match the house, sometimes you want to be different from the house, but that's up to the individual homeowner to make a choice of the bricks that he prefers.
And then we have one piece of a flagstone that's going to go on top.
Yes, in this case, the people wanted a rather thick one. This is around 3 inches. That will cover the very top of the mailbox. It's
3 inches thick, is that right?
3 inches thick, and in this case, I figured to have an overhang of about 1.5 inches to 2 inches all the way around the mailbox. So if you're 24 by 24 inches, then add on 3 inches on all sides. So this particular one is 27 by 27 inches.
But they don't necessarily have to get such a thick stone. They get a thinner one.
No. Again, that's up to
this client wanted that.
What's available and how thick you like it for your own personal use.
Okay. Now this is, they can of course choose any type of mailbox. This is what this client chose. It's a nice square mailbox. It makes it easier for cuts, is that right?
That, and there's also a security box. When you open it up, you can see the mailman can drop the mail in there, but people cannot take the mail out. So it's kind of a safety feature.
Okay, and but you know, that's individual taste. They can get a rounder one or any type of mailbox, and then when we show them with the brick hammer, they can then make the cuts that they need. And then just one other thing, the masonry sand. They just need masonry sand to go with the cement. Generally, if they're doing a mailbox, we figure about what, 1/4 of a yard would probably suffice.
Yes, it depends on the inner part of the mailbox itself. If it's a bigger cavity, obviously you use some more cement than you would on a narrow one.
And the wheelbarrow, normally when you lay bricks, we have a mortar board and stuff, but since it's just a small job with a mailbox, they can do all the mixing in the wheelbarrow and just get the cement right out of the wheelbarrow. Is that right?
That would certainly work that way.
And then they'll need a bucket over here, like a 5-gallon bucket for
water
and stuff. One other thing I just wanted to point out, we're using masonry cement for laying the brick. When they go to lay the foundation, which they'll see in the next chapter, we'll just talk to it.